Yeah, a very special welcome to our to President Klaus, who will be the new president in a few minutes. And before that, I would like to give a short introduction who we are. We are not very well known in Brussels, I would say, and so let me start. This is how it started. Guus Berghout and myself, we were sitting in The Hague. This was the press conference in The Hague in 2019 when we launched Clintel with the first event. And Guus Berghout cannot be here today, unfortunately, because he has been in hospital for a long time, and he is recovering. He's doing well, by the way. He's energetic. He is optimistic, but unfortunately he cannot be here today. But he will address us soon in a video recorded speech. So what Guus did in the first year was drafting this World Climate Declaration with our main message: there is no climate emergency, and that turned out to be a very powerful declaration because it's very simple. It's only one page where we summarize. It doesn't mean that we all agree. We have Clintel ambassadors here in the room. It doesn't mean that we all agree about the science or that we all agree about how we view the climate issue, but we all agree about this message, that there is no climate emergency. Some of us believe that CO2 plays a moderate role. Some of us believe, like I think President Klaus believes, that CO2 plays a very minor role. But we all agree that there is no climate emergency. Yeah. So this is what binds us. And the declaration is now signed by more than 2,000 scientists and experts. I have to emphasize, it's not only scientists but also engineers who work on the energy system and are worried about climate policy. But why I wanted to give a very short overview, because some of you, especially the journalists, are sometimes really embarrassed by, there is no climate emergency. How can you say this? This is incredible. This is shocking. We see all these problems, flooding and hurricane, all these problems every day in the news. How can you still claim there is no climate? People really get angry if we say this, yeah? And so I want to give a very short summary of why we believe that there is no climate emergency. First of all, this is what people often say. I love to go to the mountains and walk in the mountains. And they say, Marcel, can you see the glacier? It's withdrawing. It's all due to us. You know, it's CO2, it's warming, and the glacier is disappearing, you know. And this is in Switzerland. And some Swiss scientists, they did a lot of field work in this area, and they reconstructed how this valley looked like 2,000 years ago. I did Latin at school, and I learned that Hannibal went across the Alps with his elephants in that period. Now, here is how it looked like 2,000 years ago. There was no glacier. Yeah, so the glacier came into being only relatively recently, and now it's receding again. So our message: there is much more variability in the climate than we hear from the scientists, from the IPCC and from the media. Yeah, so that's one point. But the most important point is that the scientists claim all the time that we have more extreme weather nowadays. And if you look at the data, and if you look at the IPCC reports even, this is not confirmed. The most clear data we have from hurricanes, and that's why they show. I downloaded this data last night. You can see this from yourself. It's from Ryan Mao. Ryan Mao is a meteorologist from the United States. You can go to his website and download these data. Very recent. On top you see all the hurricanes, and below, at the bottom, you see the major hurricanes, and you see they're going up and down, but there is no trend. We don't have more hurricanes. No, they will say, but the hurricanes get more extreme. Well, we have a measure for that. It's called ACE, the accumulated energy in the hurricanes, and you can see the same. It's going up and down, but there is no trend. So it's not true either that hurricanes are getting more intense, that we have more category 3, 4, 5 hurricanes. That's not true. And the IPCC even admitted this in the latest report. But IPCC is not shouting this from the roofs. They're not communicating this in the press releases. They're not communicating this in their events, you know, and therefore the people and the media, they don't know this information. And this is our cause of raison d'être, you know. This is the reason why we have to exist, because they don't give the full picture of the situation. Well, what about sea level rise? We're from Holland. Parts of Holland are 9 meters below sea level rise, so we know the danger of sea level rise. This is a Dutch engineer who works on coastal protection and stuff like that. He recently had this paper, and he showed in the paper that there is globally no acceleration in sea level rise. So sea level started rising 1850 already, long before humans started emitting massive amounts of CO2. And the sea level rise continues at a very steady rate. There is no acceleration visible in the data. That's very positive news about the climate. You don't hear it in the media. But we have more disaster losses, damage because of the disasters, like in the flooding in Valencia. No, if you correct the data for population and for economy, then there is no trend in the data. Yeah? So there is no increase in disaster damage from extreme weather. What about people dying from extreme weather? This is really an amazing story. We have a 98% decrease in people dying from extreme weather in the past century. How is this possible? Well, it's prosperity. We became richer, and because we became richer, we can easily deal with all kinds of people in India and Bangladesh. They have mobile phones. If there is a typhoon, hurricane coming there, they are warned by the phone, please go inside the land, go to your shelter, have enough water available. That kind of easy thing that saves so many lives. That's called adaptation. Adaptation is the reason why this went down, and prosperity. So yeah, Clintel has become a worldwide organization. We are very happy today also that we have Clintel ambassadors from all around the world. We even have our Clintel ambassador from South Korea here. Very welcome, Seok. And the rest from all over Europe. And so this is what we want to do in the coming years. We want to grow internationally. We have more Clintel branches in several countries and spread our message all over the world. So we have this World Climate Declaration. It's signed by John Klaus, the Nobel Prize winner. And this is very important, that people with his standing in science, that they say, yes, I agree with the declaration. It's really important because we need good scientists backing up, daring to do this, because it's really dangerous. He is retired. And for many scientists, it's dangerous to sign the declaration. We have had examples. A scientist, a professor in Germany, he signed the declaration. He's not a climate scientist. He's from a different field. But he said, I totally agree. I want to sign. 3 weeks later, he emailed me, Marcel, unfortunately, you have to remove the affiliation. So the name of my university, you have to remove it. I want to stay on the list, personally. But I got problems at the university, and they asked me to remove the affiliation of my university. It's a crazy time in that respect, you know. There is a lot of censorship and self-censorship among scientists and climate scientists. So what else did we do? We have studied the latest IPCC report. We did that with a team of Clintel people, international network. Frits Varenold is here in the room. Who else? Myself. Ross McKittrick is a very well-known economist. President Klaus also knows him very well. And so we published this book, The Frozen Climate Views of the IPCC, and we now have translations into French, German, what's this one? What's translation? This is the English one, Danish, and Dutch. Yeah, so we have 5 versions now. And so this is the kind of thing that we do. Last year we had Climate the Movie. We were not a producer of the movie. It's a very important movie because it gives voices to many of our friends and colleagues. They are interviewed in the film. And what we did, and especially my colleague Evert here at the front, we did a lot of translation of the subtitles. So if you go to the website climatethemovie.net, you can see the movie in all kinds of different, and also on our YouTube channel, you can select your preferred language for subtitling, if that's necessary. And we had a premiere in the Netherlands, and I had to say it was a big success for the first time, because normally when we organize events, maybe we have 50 people, 100 people, but now we had a full theater. We had 500 people in the room coming to the Dutch premiere of Climate the Movie. So that was really exciting for us to see that more and more people are willing to listen to the other side of this debate. We had a conference in the Netherlands last year. This is Willy Soon. He was speaking there. And we had a conference in Prague. That was before we knew that President Klaus would become our new president. But that was a wonderful occasion as well last year. Those are the kinds of things that we do. And now I would like to say thank you to Guus Berghout, who worked for Clintel for 7 years, all voluntary. Yeah, he invested a lot of his time and even money to do traveling and all that kind of thing. So he's 85 now. He will step down today. Officially, he will remain active. Last night, we decided he should become the honorary president of Clintel, and we will let him know next week when we have our yearly party and dinner in The Hague, where he lives. And Guus couldn't be here today, but he recorded a speech, and we are now going to listen to that speech. Thank you.
Dear colleagues and dear friends, 7 years ago, at the end of 2018, I approached science journalist Marcel Krok with a proposal. Let us join forces and establish an international climate organization. Our mission was clear: to gain a deeper, evidence-based understanding of the causes and effects of climate change and of the real impact of climate policies on economies and the environment. In March 2019, together with a group of volunteers, we founded Clintel. In this brand new organization, Marcel was appointed to Clintel's managing director, and I became Clintel's president. In the same year, we launched the World Climate Declaration and appointed ambassadors around the globe. Today, more than 6 years later, the declaration has been signed by over 2,000 scientists and professionals, and Clintel has 25 ambassadors. Much has happened in the world since 2009. Yet, the core message of the 2019 declaration remains as relevant and urgent as ever. It calls on politicians to stop spreading climate fear and state 3 fundamental points. Fundamental point 1, it is not primarily human activity, but the immense forces of nature that drive climate change, not only at present times, but as long as planet Earth exists. Point number 2, more fundamental research is needed before we can truly understand the complex processes in the climate system. For instance, water vapor and clouds seem to be way more important for the climate than just CO2 alone. Point number 3, climate adaptation is by far the most effective and humane way to reduce damage and victims from extreme weather. Climate mitigation, by aiming for unrealistic emission reductions, has never saved $1 and one victim. In conclusion, the world urgently needs massive investment in honest climate science and in innovative adaptation technologies. Dear friends, I hope that these principles will remain the cornerstone of Clintel in the years ahead. With the national chapters we are now establishing in all countries, we finally have the structure to bring Clintel's message to every corner of the world. On this occasion, I wish to mention another important issue. We have repeatedly tried to organize an open, international scientific debate with organizations such as IPCC. However, every single invitation was declined. That is not only incomprehensible, it is most unscientific. After all, every major breakthrough in the history of science has come from dissenting voices. It is therefore with immense pride and gratitude to announce that Dr. Václav Klaus, former Prime Minister and former President of the Czech Republic, has agreed to succeed me as President of Clintel. With his stature, experience and network, he is uniquely placed to finally force the real climate debate that has been avoided for so long. Dear Václav, a very warm welcome to Clintel. To mark this moment, we have chosen a small but symbolic gift for you, a traditional Dutch windmill in the famous Dutch blue porcelain. For centuries ago, thousands of these elegant windmills were the pride of the Netherlands. They were true technological masterpieces that drained our polders, turned grain into flour, and helped to make our small country prosperous. Above all, they were in harmony with nature. But already at that time, the Dutch realized the fundamental disadvantage of this innovation. No wind, no power. Therefore, already in 1852, the Dutch started to replace their windmills by weather-independent, steam-powered pump houses. Today, by contrast, the gigantic modern wind turbines that now dominate many natural landscapes represent the opposite. Despite their impressive size, they deliver unreliable, weather-dependent electricity. They industrialize our countryside and seascapes. They harm bird life and human health. And they drive energy prices to absurd levels. They have become the very symbol of an ideology-driven, unsustainable climate policy. Dear Václav, this little blue windmill is a reminder of what real progress once looked like and of what the Dutch, already 170 years ago, did to make their vital water management system independent of the weather. Let this be an example for the world's future energy policy. Dear Václav, filled with pride for what Clintel has achieved until today, and with high expectations of what Clintel will achieve in the future, I now hand over the presidency to you. May Clintel, under your leadership, make decisive contributions to a rational, resilient, and prosperous world. Finally, dear Marcel, dear Clintel team, dear ambassadors, and dear friends, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your trust in me and for your tireless efforts to support Clintel. Keep surprising the world and continue this wonderful work. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was very well done by Guus. So yeah, thank you so much, Guus. And yeah, so here it is, all the way from The Hague. This is the new. So yeah, when you moderate a meeting, then you can use it as the the hammer for the meeting. And one other present that I brought for you is that when we last month, my colleague Evert and we met President Klaus in Prague at his institute, and I gave him, of course, my business card, and he was looking like a small boy, like, so I will also get a business card, you know, a Clintel business card, because I will become the president. So of course, I have a new business card for you. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah, and so now I will hand over you can use that microphone, I think, and yeah, I will hand over the microphone to you to give your speech and your thoughts.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying that I am extremely honored to be selected as the new president of Clintel, to accept this role after the Clintel founder, Professor Berghout, is both difficult and demanding and binding for me. There is no way to thank Professor Berghout for his work and achievements sufficiently. We do owe him a lot. I'm really impressed by his today's message. I'm not sure that he should have resigned from his position. He looked so well and so full of strengths and ideas that we could all of us learn from him for years to come. So I hope he will not stop being an active Clintel participant, and as an honorary president, I hope this will give him sufficient opportunity to be active, really. I'm just afraid that his high expectations connected with a new Clintel president may be difficult to fulfill. Professor Berghout founded this initiative in 2009 at the right moment. when the ambitious, evidently destructive, scientifically unsupported global warming doctrine seemed to be almost unchallenged and unopposed. That was the first moment. He did it when politicians, the major media, and arrogant green activists looked like the justified and authorized owners of eternal truths and of practically all important institutions of the current world. He did it it was a time when the strength and power of this one-sided propaganda successfully indoctrinating practically all generations, all social groupings, and all countries in the developed world seemed unstoppable. It was at a time when distinguished opponents of this nihilistic doctrine, who had been trying for years and decades to oppose it, became tired, and some of them due to age ceased to be active in their public presentations, when some of them were repeatedly attacked personally and their undisputed academic careers and achievements were caricatured and discredited, when the green activists seemed to be undefeatable. In that situation, in 2019, Professor Berghout, a distinguished Dutch physicist, came with the idea of Clintel, prepared and published its declaration, invited similarly thinking scientists to sign it, and started the inevitable organizational work. Many well-known opponents of the official doctrine of man-made global warming signed the declaration, and I have to repeat my, and I'm sure all of us, really gratitude to Professor Berghout for all of that. I was among the first to sign the declaration, and I have been engaged in the climate debate already for decades. I already belong to the veterans of this debate. I have written dozens of articles, made speeches all over the world, really on all continents, and published 3 books on this topic. One of them has been translated into 18 languages. By the way, in that book, which is almost 20 years old, there were similar graphs as were presented by Marcel Elleria with the same arguments. So we are fighting the same battle all the time. I am convinced that it's our duty to oppose this irrational, populist, and evidently non-scientific climate alarmism. Our duty. The general public should be informed that the hypothesis that human carbon dioxide emissions are causing global warming has not been scientifically proven. I also wanted to help and want to help even now. I was and I am fully aware of the fact that we are not on the winning side. We should admit that. We have to search for new ways how to make a change. All of us, each of us individually, and all of us together. That's the main message I would like to send. We should overcome the widespread feeling of loneliness that some of our friends and supporters experience these days. Not everyone is robust enough. Not everyone is sufficiently self-assured to be alone with his or her views and to be able to stand by them. That's one of the reasons for creating Clintel and for keeping Clintel existing. We plan to expand our activities both in individual countries and on the global level. We plan to be more active in public debates. We plan to find new supporters. In this respect, and I think it's important, we don't intend to centralize our activities here in the Netherlands or here in Europe. We will give independence to national groupings and initiatives and will welcome their activity. That should be a clear message from this press conference. We will keep our secretariat in the Netherlands, where it all started. And I would like to thank, we expressed our thanks and gratitude to Professor Berghout. I would like to express my thanks to the Managing Director of Clintel, Marcel Krok, for his relentless work and activity. I hope he will continue with the same strengths and everything.
I'm a tennis player.
Very good, very good, very good. I will try to do my best to use my experience and knowledge to make Clintel more efficient. And I look forward to the cooperation with all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am really honored to be elected as president of Clintel, and I will try to do my best to continue the work Professor Berghaus started. His retirement is too early, it seems to me. He's just 1 year older than me, so I hope there will be no need next year to discover a new potential president. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention, and we will try to do something positive, all of us together. Thank you very much.
So then there is now a room for questions. Is there a microphone for because for the live stream it's important. Is there a question in the room? Do you have a question? No? Are there other questions? Yeah, everything is well said. No room for questions? No.
Room is there, but no motivation
There.
for questions.
Oh. No, but there is one question. Yeah?
That's okay.
Please say your name and...
My name's Martin Banks. I'm a freelance journalist based in Brussels. I've been here many years and attended so many events, conferences, debates that seem to put the polar opposite argument of what I'm hearing now. I've just almost become, as you may say, well, to use the word loosely, indoctrinated. I use the word informally to, as you said, a one-sided, I think you alluded to, a one-sided argument. So I'm not used to hearing this type of sort of argument put forward. It's quite a rarity in this place, Brussels, in my experience anyway. So I wonder if you can, I mean, you mentioned there you've got a real battle on your hands. You're on the not on the winning side, you said. So I wonder how you, just two things, just briefly for someone like me who's sort of quite new to this counter-argument, how would you summarise the message your organisation, Clintel, wishes to convey about the climate debate? Just really briefly, please, if you don't mind. And also, just briefly as well, on the COP events. We've just seen one in Brazil. They're they just continue, go on and on and on. I sometimes wonder what they actually produce. Do you think they're a waste of time, money? Do they serve any purpose? So I hope that's okay. I hope that's clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear my presentation at the start, or did you come in?
I was a little later arriving.
Ah, okay. So you could watch back the presentation that I gave, because I gave actually a summary. So our message is there is no climate emergency, and I said during my presentation, for some journalists or for many journalists, they are completely flabbergasted. Now you confirm this, because you almost never hear this side of the story. And in my presentation, I gave a few examples of why we conclude that there is absolutely no climate emergency. And about the COPs, we can be very short. Indeed, they are a total and utter waste of time, and especially money, of course, and it will go on until the money stops. You know, because all those people flying there, they are paid by public money or other money, NGO money, whatever, and as long as this money is flowing, they will organize the events, and as soon as this money stops flowing, then the COPs will end. That's my personal opinion. Do you agree, Mr. President?
First, I would like to say that I fully agree with what Marcel Krok has been just saying. You know, it's impossible to summarize easily our views, but the presentation which was prepared at the beginning of our meeting is, I hope, for some of the people persuasive. Some people need mathematical equations. Some other people need the glaciers, the picture of the glaciers now and 2,000 years ago. All of us need different arguments, and I think that Clintel has been presenting all of them in the last years quite persuasively. We are trying to find new ways how to address people, how to address general audiences, and all of us know how difficult it is. Nevertheless, we will not stop doing that.
Can you get the microphone?
Thank you. I told you there would be more journalists here. I'm Joe Hoagland with City News Service. It's a news organization in Southern California. I live in Brussels and report to them series of local newspapers and things. I would suggest that rather than not answer the question that was just given, if you could rehearse an elevator speech that you could deliver quickly on the premise that you're operating from, it might be more quotable in a news outlet.
Okay. No, it was a remark and an ID. Any other questions? No? Okay. Then we close this session. Thank you again very much, and look forward to the cooperation.